Hey everyone, just before we start today's video, we have an announcement. In fact, we've just made an announcement. There's going to be more TFN this year. That's right, in addition to the show that's going to be taking place in Birmingham in August, we're going to be taking over the University of Reading's Great Hall, ooh, fancy, on the 23rd of November for TFN MiniCon. That's right, the MiniCon is coming to the south, a one-day event, more TFN in your life. We're going to be so busy. I hope to see you all there. If you want to know more, all of the information is down in the links below. It will take you to the press release with a ton of information. That's right, another TFN. I can't wait. Also as well, later on in this video, we will be announcing the winners to our competition to win a copy of the Void Rivals and Transformers trade paperbacks. So stay tuned to later on in the video. But for now, let's go over to past Dave to talk about B.O.T. I don't know if, like me, you ever find yourself just trolling through the TFWIKI. You know, it's a boring Sunday afternoon and there's not a great deal going on, so you just think to yourself, I'll just hit random page and see what turns up. I ended up on a page for the Season 2 episode B.O.T. And right off the bat, it seemed harsh. The TFWIKI does not hold any punches, deeming this to be the worst Transformers episode ever made. And I thought to myself, that's a really interesting thought. What is the worst Transformers episode? Whether that be from Generation 1 or whether just in general from the 40 years worth of Transformers animation that we've had. And so I thought, well, you know what? It's a quiet Sunday afternoon. I'm going to watch B.O.T. and find out whether or not I personally think it is the worst episode ever. Now, I'm not going to make some sweeping statement here and say it is definitely not or it definitely is, because I'll be perfectly honest with you, I'm a 40-year-old man, and my brain doesn't work well enough to remember everything that I've ever watched to determine whether or not it is. What I can tell you, however, is that B.O.T. is dreadful. And B.O.T. is dreadful on several levels, but it's fundamentally, to me, its biggest flaw is the fact that it attempts to squeeze too many stories into 22 minutes. That is the major issue that we've got going on. We've got a spotlight episode for Swindle, a spotlight on the Protectopods, I guess. It has a story about 3 brand new human characters that we have introduced, and their robot, B.O.T. And all of that. Oh, and there's another plot of Megatron creating a weapon that only Bruticus can use. There's a lot going on in 22 minutes. And unfortunately, because there is so much going on, everything falls apart. There's not a single bit of this episode that I think is successful in doing what it's supposed to do. Apart from this bit, which is funny, just the gag of them putting a bomb in Swindle's head. I need to double check to see whether or not there was any reference to Suicide Squad. I have no idea. Megatron isn't quite Amanda Waller, but hey, whatever. And when I say not quite Amanda Waller, I mean not quite as evil as Amanda Waller. Is B.O.T. completely bereft of any redeeming quality? No, I don't think it is. I think there's a couple of things that you can say. One, it's got some of that really good Season 2 animation, especially when it's dealing with the Transformers. They're very on model and it looks good, you know, like stuff like this. The problem is, whenever they take those models and put them out into the real world, the human world, everything falls apart. Scale is completely ruined in this particular episode. Every building that they go into, they have to go in and out of a lot of buildings for whatever reason, or run up a flight of stairs that were clearly designed to be in a building for humans. Scale just doesn't factor in anymore. You've got Bumblebee and Ironhide running up a flight of stairs with gears, And you're like, well, hold on a minute. This isn't a building. Like, are they making stairs for Transformers? Street shots, all of that stuff. It's horrendous. Speaking of horrendous, we have 3 brand new human characters. I think there is a message trying to be delivered here, which is that girls can do everything boys can do. And that's a really good message to send, especially in 1985. Unfortunately, it is quite clear that that message is being written by somebody who didn't quite get the memo as to exactly what the problem with what they're writing is. So we have these, I don't even remember their names. I'm not that particularly bothered, and we've now got adverts running, who cares? The fundamental problem is that the female character she's really cautious and really timid at the start of the episode, and then by the end of the episode she comes up with a plan to rescue everybody and save the day. That seems like a good story arc for her, except for the fact that the payoff at the end of the episode is that when she thinks that it's a good idea to recreate B.O.T, they gag her with duct tape and drag her out of the Autobot base while Optimus Prime just stands around and watches. That's the celebration that she gets for saving the day. Yeah. So, the story really revolves around these 3 finding components from the Combaticons after the Combaticons are destroyed in a single shot by Defensor in some random city. Literally, this episode starts with the Combaticons rolling up, transforming into Bruticus, and getting shot. And that's it. Swindle then sells the parts because he can't help it. He has to get a deal. I dislike this as a Swindle spotlight purely because it takes the approach that these are just machines and they're programmed to act in a certain way. They're not free-thinking individuals. They have to follow their programming, and I dislike that. Swindle sells the parts, but because Megatron's plan requires Bruticus, why he can't use Devastator, got no idea. However, the humans, as you can see, are currently building their own robot as a school project. They're all quite intelligent people, they're building robots, but they have taken Brawl's personality, and they put Brawl's personality into B.O.T, and it goes haywire, because it's a Combaticon. I think that the premise of doing an episode like this is actually quite good. The execution's not good, but the idea is quite good. Go with me on this. The idea we have seen in Transformers, Spike getting his mind transferred into a robot body. We have seen Transformers becoming humans in season 3. The idea of a Transformer having their personality taken out and placed into what you could charitably call a bucket robot, I think is a really good one. And I think it's one that could have had some really interesting story potential in it. Let me rewrite B.O.T a moment for you. What if the personality component in question wasn't a Decepticon, and therefore B.O.T just went on a rampage and everybody had a Wile E. Coyote style try to take down B.O.T? What if instead it was Optimus Prime, for example, whose mind had been stuck into B.O.T, and the Decepticons are looking to destroy B.O.T, and Optimus Prime, who can't communicate properly, doesn't have access to any of his equipment or anything like that, has to avoid capture and manage to save the day. You know, telling a compelling story about overcoming adversity, that seems like a decent story to me. But that's not the one they tell. Instead, B.O.T is able to handily defeat Ironhide, Gears, and Bumblebee in single combat because of the fact that the Autobots are morons? None of it works. None of it at all. The humans don't work, B.O.T doesn't work, the Decepticons plan is, well, I mean, it's rubbish. And you just can't fit all of this into 22 minutes. And that is the problem. That's the problem with B.O.T. But again, there is the question. Is B.O.T the worst episode of Transformers? That's what I wanted to know. And that's where I need your help. You see, what I've decided to do is to fall down the rabbit hole that you're going to dig for me. Here's the plan. I want you, in the comments, to write down, with the exception of B.O.T, your least favourite Transformers episode. Doesn't have to be Generation 1, can be any series. I want a list. And what I'm going to do is subject myself to that list to try and find an episode that is worse than B.O.T. Just to prove the TFWIKI wrong. If we can do it, great. If we can't, well, it's me that's suffering and not you, isn't it?
I'd say that about wraps it up. Yep.
Oh, I'm having traumatic flashbacks to when I watched B.O.T. Hope you all enjoyed the video. Remember to put down below your comment for what you think is the worst Transformers episode, and I will subject myself to it for your entertainment. But for now, the answer to the question, who won? Well, congratulations to FlorgeySteve. FlorgeySteve? Why do people come up with such complicated names? Says the guy who came up with Kal-El Prime oh so long ago. Superman's name plus Optimus Prime. Boom. Simple. FlorgeySteve. I'm just going to call you Steve. Steve, congratulations. Well done. You have won yourself these 2 books. You need to get in touch with us in the email address down below. Let us know your details and we will get these books out to you. Thank you all so very much for all of your comments. They were absolutely wonderful. Lot of love for James Roberts' As More Than Meets the Eye. Lot of love for Generation 1. Didn't see as much love for Dreamwave, and that breaks my heart. But that's because, truth be told, those other series were better. But, like, Dreamwave, man. But congratulations, Steve. These will be coming out to you as soon as possible. Thank you all so much. Again, head down below to check out all of the latest announcements for TFN Reading. Hope you enjoyed the video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye for now.